Hello everyone. Happy Sunday to everyone. I thought I would do a fairly quick, I'm trying to make it a fairly quick video today. I've been wanting to try carved stamps for like block stamping, and this will be my first attempt. Today I gave it a shot. Not too, I mean, they work, don't get me wrong, it's just my carving skills. This is my first time trying to do this, but I thought I would bring you along. I wanted to participate in the 100-day challenge and also get my mind off of things. So first of all, I'll tell you the supplies that I currently have to do this. I purchased a carving tool. It came with different ends. I'm choosing to work with the smallest end. I got that at Hobby Lobby for like, right here. It's a lino cutter, $15.99. Of course, I used the 40% off discount so that I didn't have to pay full price for that. So that's the little tool I'm using. I got two different things here. The first one was I bought this cheap red foam sheet, you know, out of the kids department. And the other thing I got was this easy to cut lino. It's supposed to be carvable on both sides. I got that in the art department at Hobby Lobby as well. I cut off a 2-inch length off of both of them so that I could try before, you know, doing a video. This is more or less a craft along, not to be considered a tutorial because this is my first attempt at this. So I am no expert, believe me. So anyway, I had cut those 2-inch wide strips off of both of these. I'll set those aside. And then I thought that I would cut these into probably like no larger than 3 inches. I don't want them. So if I go here, that would be about to here. Now the one thing that I found is this is much harder to cut through than, of course, the foam from the kids department. I was surprised actually how hard it was for me to cut through this when I was cutting that long length. I think we might be getting somewhere, maybe. Almost. And this is with a, there we go. Whew! That is with a, I might use this one, that end. This is a good X-Acto knife too. I was surprised at that. Let's see, let's make this one about the same as this. About 2.5 it looks like. Well, the update on my dog is she had a good night. She came through the surgery, which was major. She she has a little improvement in her right hind leg, and the left hind leg is the same as it was yesterday. You know, no movement, but she seems to have feeling in both. She's able to support herself on her front paws, which is good. So as long as there's no major issues, they're weaning her off of her 3 IV medications today. And as long as she can tolerate the pain, get off of those, tolerate the pain with oral medicines, they'll release her tomorrow. She's unable to walk, and we'll have extensive therapy, but we'll see how that goes. You know, we're thankful that she survived the surgery, first of all, and they said it's not uncommon for a dog that has the surgery to sort of worsen with their limb movement before they start the road to recovery, which they're telling us will be, you know, extensive. How extensive, they'll better know in a week or so, but she'll be very immobile for a while. And, you know, we'll do home therapy. There's therapy places we can take her for like underwater treadmills and that type of thing to get them to, you know, start functioning with the legs again. So our anticipation is she'll be able to walk again. That's, you know, what everybody's thinking at this time right now, but, you know, we'll see. So thank you very much to all the people that reached out to me. It means the world to me. But upbeat, we're waiting for the doctor to give us a call this evening with another update. We talked to him earlier today, you know, to get the news that, you know, hey, if we can do this and, you know, nothing suddenly happens, then tomorrow you can bring her home. There's going to be, you know, a course, which we fully understand. Very strict guidelines and things that we have to do for her, but we'll be thankful to have her home. We feel that her recovery will happen quicker being at home than, you know, in a hospital with strangers. So, enough on my little Mo. I don't really have a plan of what I want to carve on here. I found, like, the first time I tried one of these, I drew like a heart on both of them. And you could see, I think the trick to all of this is learning how to use the tool, what angle and how hard you need to press. I did learn something with this. When I first was carving on this, I thought, boy, this isn't going in. You know, I kept thinking it should be deeper, deeper, deeper. But you really don't have to on this. On this one, you can carve on both sides. So you could have a stamp on this side and a stamp on that side. So I did learn that. This, and I don't even know if I should be using this for these. But, you know, I was concerned because of these little... It doesn't carve smooth like this, but nonetheless, when I did some practice stamps, which, yeah, that one, I already threw it away, I was like, wow. I mean, it stamps. It's not like a professional stamp, but nonetheless, it does create a stamp. And then I had some fun on this one because I just free-handed, you know, just started carving. And I was actually going to start making a flower, and me and the tool aren't best friends yet, so it came out sort of wonky. But then my tool end, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, it's sort of V-shaped here on the end, had gone in at one point and it made a mark. So then I just put a bunch of those marks on there. Then I discovered if I use the same tool on end, and twist it, it makes sort of these little circle marks. And I'll be honest, this was my favorite stamp out of the ones that I practice on. So there you have it. Now, if you want to be more exacting in what you're carving, you can draw with pencil right on top of this. I didn't try to do that. Yeah, I guess you can, but I think that this is going to leave an impression, so whatever you put on there is probably going to be part of your stamp, if you will. So I'll just show you one thing that I learned, and it's been a couple hours since I made those stamps, so I'm sure I'm going to have to get used to this again, is on this, you don't have to press real hard, and it's all about the angle. This has many different ends that you can use, and I decided to go with the smallest end. I'll experiment as time goes along with the different ones to see what they do. But this is something that really interests me because you can make these stamps. You can stamp on linen or cloth, you know, on anything really. But I thought it would be really cool for that. So on this, I'm just sort of gonna do like two different things, you know, so that I'll just start. I think I'm just going to try some lines, maybe. I have problems. I haven't mastered, like, going around in circles or any of that. Maybe I'll give that a go, too, you know, just for demonstration purposes. But I have to try to remember the best way for me to, an angle for me to use this tool. But you really don't have to press hard at all on this. And I think that was the mistake I was making when I first attempted. I was pressing really hard. And there's hardly, if you look at this, there's hardly any groove in this. But it's enough that it shows up on the stamp. You can see I can't even make a straight line, but I want to sort of divide this. So I'm going to put this line here. And I can tell I'm getting my tool at the wrong angle. I have to learn how to, trying to find a comfortable way to hold the tool. You would really have to practice with this, like, to be able to make a design and remove all of the background, because it's, I don't know the word I'm trying to use. I think it requires some skill even after you master the proper way to use the tool. As you can see, there's times that I'm able to just go right along, and other times I just don't have the tool in the right, at the right angle, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know why I keep working down here, but I'm just not happy with what this looks like. Let's see. Let's try like a squiggly line or something. The round, going around, is sort of difficult for me. Well, most difficult. You can see I'm struggling with all of it. But I think if you just try to make some sort of pattern. I wish I had a blue ink pad. And I truly believe it's just a matter of practicing and using the right end to get the effect that you want. And for what I would be using these stamps for, I don't think it really, at this point, bothers me that the pattern is imperfect. I think it makes it look more rustic, for lack of a better term. This end, I think I want to do something going this way so it looks, you can tell it's a separate pattern even though it's on the same block. And I'm sorry, I'm getting quiet. I get quiet when I'm concentrating. I saw, I can't remember where, it was a video. They used this carving piece called Moo Carve. And I just wonder if it's easier to carve on. I think I'm going to order some. I found it on Amazon. They do sell it. Got right into my tools. But I've been wanting to try this for a while. And I am going to master. I'm going to play around with the different tool ends this week and see if I can master the, circles, because I'd like to make some round designs. But on this one, on this foam, it's easier. I find it easier anyway. I wonder if I try to make a, I don't think I have this tool on here right. This end. Oh, I think what happened, my end came loose. Just tighten that up. So let's see. Alright. Nothing great there, but let's see when it stamps what it looks like. I guess you can get ink well, I know that Speedball has ink for fabric, but I would use this. I used this on fabric already, and you know, it's not like what I would be using these stamps for wouldn't be anything that's going to be laundered. You know, it would be for a craft type project. I'm going to make sure I have ink on the whole thing. And then I've been taking my stamp block and using it to press down on the stamp to hopefully get a more even print. Well, that didn't come out so good. Let's get some more ink on there. Make sure it's good and inky. Looks like ink is everywhere. Yeah, still not stamping appropriately. Let's see. Do I need to clean? See if I can clean this off. Try it again. Honestly, the first one I did came out so much better than that. Still not getting a good impression. Isn't that something? I don't know why. I can see like the spots that it's not picking up the ink on. Well, I'm not gonna sweat over this. I'm going to go ahead and move on to a foam, one of the foam ones, and then maybe go to the back of that. Maybe I need to carve it deeper. I don't know why the image isn't picking up better. I don't know if you can see any, like, here's some of the images first time around. Oh, still haven't moved that rug that I have to get my chair over. Alright, let's see. Let's try something on this one. I sort of want to, let's try to make a border first of all. I don't think I'm carving into this. This foam sort of doesn't really carve off. It sort of dents it. So I'll just make a frame. Maybe I'll just keep going with like squares, squares, squares. Like I said, I had no plan, just more or less like doodling on the block. Is that anything like Jenny on the block? Or Jenny from the block? Or whatever. My mind. My husband and I were just having a conversation. The stress that we have been under since Friday is incredible, and we're dealing with our pet. My husband works with a gentleman, and his son has MS, and this young man, let's see, Benjamin is probably 12 now. If you knew the trials and tribulations this child has been through, and the numerous surgeries this little one has had to have. You know, Bill always says that Benjamin's father is his biggest hero because they're up in Boston this week having a procedure done, you know. I don't know what Benjamin's life expectancy is, but his mother and father do everything humanly possible to extend that and to give him quality of life. And, you know, Bill was telling me, you know, they're up in Boston again, you know, and he says, you know, you think about everything they have been through since he was born, you know. He says, you know how bad you and I have been over Mo. He said, can you imagine it being your child, you know? And it just, I don't know. Love and respect to them. And I certainly pray for a cure for all of these diseases, you know. It's so hard when they're, especially when they're kids. I'm going to stop on that just because I sort of like the way that frame is, and I'm thinking you might be able to use that as a stamp. Or wait a minute, do I want to use as a almost like a label? But do I want? Yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and do another round like I was going to. I'd really like to be able to make some sort of halfway decent one that I could stamp on fabric, you know, in a block style, put a few together. I have to say, right now this foam is my favorite because I'm going to have to stop my camera here real quick, just because it seems to agree with my hand. And it's not the product, believe me, it's me. Because this is, like I said, I've never done this before. So let me stop the video. I'll turn you right back on. I just don't want the video cutting out. Okay, I'm back. Let me reset the timer here. There we go. Let me do a little bit more on this one, and then I want to go back to that lino material on the reverse side and see if I carve it deeper. Maybe I didn't carve it deep enough. Initially I thought I was having issues because I was trying to carve too deep. Maybe it's... I don't know, just when I thought I had it figured out, I didn't. The story of life, right? Alright, I'm going to stop on that. On the back side of this one, I want to show you how these marks worked. I really like that effect. Yeah, and I think part of the problem you can see might be my ink pad. I don't know why, but on these, I sort of like that they're not uniform. Oh, I moved that, so I'm not gonna... That one doesn't count. That's my do-over. I'm sure this is boring as all get out, especially when I'm getting the results that I'm getting. But, it is what it is, right? It's exactly what I carved. Let's see if we... I'm just stamping these on. Let me do this. Try this purple. I never use this purple, so maybe there's more ink left on it. May have nothing to do with the ink. This may all be about the carver. Or the lack of a carver. Not horrible. I mean, it is what it is. So let's go back to this one. And I'm just going to try on the back side. To carve a little bit deeper. And maybe try something. What I do on this side, I did do some, let's see. Let's try to do a heart. And I can tell I'm not getting deep enough. I'm doing it the same level as I was doing it before. I'm going to go around it a couple times. Let me see my hand in the right angle. Trying to get my tool at the right angle where it moves more freely. Go around this again. And I don't care that it's not perfect, quite honestly. Oh, well that's good. As my carving got a little bit wild there. Let's do maybe a third line. I find this one harder to carve, like lines next to one another, if that makes sense. And this is sort of a slippery surface too. What can I do with that? I think that's what I did before, and that's why I ended up making all those lines around it. I'm going to come outside of it. Maybe if I move that instead of my tool. Try to connect that. My heart is a mess. Trying to clean this up some inside here. I don't know what I'm doing with it. The bad thing is, this tool, it doesn't come with like any tips, you know, of how to use it, or what tip works for what. I think they just expect you to know all that, and they don't know Sheila. I buy things without knowing how to properly use them and try to teach myself. Alright, what else can we do? Let's do something. I keep going with lines because that's the easy thing for me. Easier than anything else. So let's just, I'm pressing this time a little bit deeper into the block. And there is definitely an angle, a certain angle that you need to be at. I can tell as I'm carving along. If I reach, like, I get about midway there and I think my handle's coming up too high. I want to do something around that. I just don't know what to do around that. I don't know what I'm capable of putting around that. Let's just... let's just go for it. As I said, this is in no way intended to be a tutorial of any sort. This is me with an epic fail of carving a stamp. I really want to learn how to do this though. I'm not happy with the fact that I just have lines. Maybe come on, tool, don't fail me now. One more line on this side. I'm going to leave that like that. And then I want to go back to this one. And I want to show you, this has like a little V. And all I did on that other one was literally just make these little marks with the end of this, going different directions. I said that and then I made them all in the same direction. Alright, I'm going to make a dividing line. And see, after carving on that other block, it makes me want to dig in deeper in this, and this foam, I really don't think you have to. I'm doing this on the back of this foam, which I wouldn't recommend trying to use foam for two different stamps. But for this, I'm doing that because these are just sort of playing around. And if I end up with something I like that I would keep, then I would. And then, like I said, I put my tool on end and just spun it around. I know this is boring, but it's just about playing around with it and seeing what effects I can get with what skill level I'm at on this, which, as you can tell, is very low skill level. But you don't know till you try, right? And then I will get some of that moo carve. See if that makes it easier for me, and I'll start watching some YouTube videos too to see if I can pick up any tips. Okay, so let's give these stamps a try. I'll use this purple. Try this one first. good and inked. I'll stand up for this and push down. Still getting, I wonder why that is. I wonder if this needs washed. I can almost see it's really aggravating me. Come on, stamp, stamp. Well, if any of you are familiar with this and have any tips for me, it'd be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, like on the stamp, there's certain parts that are like, I don't know if it's a film or something, but it's clearly part of the problem. I'm the other part. But let's do this cheapo stamp and see what we come up with. I might just work with this foam. This foam is pretty fun. And I feel like I have more freedom with trying to make rounded edges and what have you. A little bit easier than this other stuff that, and it may be that I don't have the proper, I'm sure I'm not using the tools correct. I'm not blaming it on the product. It's clearly the operator. See how nice that comes out? Pretty amazing, actually. I mean, my design, of course, is like childlike, but none the rest on this foam, I'm getting better impression than the more expensive product. But like I said, I'm sure that part of that is I'm doing something incorrectly. I'm going to try this again. It gets worse. Why is that doing that? Why? It looks fully inked. Oh, there's the best one yet. There's the best one yet. I sort of like the fact that it's not perfect. I certainly don't like these, but I don't mind this. And I think if you were using something like that as a block print, and you did a row of them, you know, or 3 of them anyway, and this is going to show through this piece of paper, but I'm going to try this. Maybe there's not enough. I thought using that block was helping more so than my hand. There we go. Maybe it just needed more ink. Let me try the other side. Clean some of this off. I'll try this other side real quick. And then we'll call it a day. Don't want to bore you to death with this, but hopefully you're working on something and not paying close attention. Or you may want to, so you can see the mistakes that I make, and so that you don't do the same mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. That came out better too. A little bit better. So there you have it. That's my first attempt at carving on, I think this is called lino. I think it's sort of like linoleum, a thick linoleum, I think is what it is. I could be wrong on that, but easy to cut lino, carvable on both sides. And that's what it sort of feels like, but a thick linoleum type product, and the cheap foam. I like dealing on the foam, I guess because I'm more at a kid level than an adult level. So the kid product works much easier for me. Alright, so I will leave it at that. I thank you all once again very much for visiting my channel. If you have any tips for me, please let me know. Let me know. I'm open to it. I still think this stamp here is my favorite. I just like the rustic, I don't know. I just like that it's not perfect and that it doesn't really, it's just mark making basically. But I like it. I like that one really well. But there we go. Alright, I see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your love and prayers. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I send my love and prayers back to all of you. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.